Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to do a slightly different video, but this time I'm here on a direct flight on Lufthansa, flight number LH489 over from Seattle to Munich. They have not quite configured their new business class configuration, so I'm sitting on an older business class config, as you can see, with the older seating. So it's a little bit of a cramped space, I'm not going to lie here. If only they can roll out their new Allegris business class product, then it might be a little bit more of a treat, I guess, per se, for flight. Now back to the seating configuration. So we're going to... I've got here the large 15-inch screen that is pretty typical of all the rest of the Lufthansa business of the previous configuration. Ourselves a cookie here. Biscuit has a kind of a welcome drink here. I boarded a little bit late, so I'm not quite there for the beginning drinks, but you know, that's kind of part of what happens at travel sometimes. Got ourselves the control panel. This is a lie flat seat, but it is very narrow, as you have seen, as a part of not really too many places to put stuff. And then you've got an extra stove in for space. Looking out here, I'm seated in row 4 Kappa, 4K. And a little bit once we get airborne, I'll show more of what the in-flight entertainment option is. We're currently taxiing out of SeaTac, and as a part of one of my tips as it comes to travel, go and grab a lot of these. Yeah, every time that I go on travel, I try to grab a couple of sanitizing wipes and go and wipe down the seat surfaces, because they don't always clean every good surface that you see here. For example, I actually had to clean some of these windows, at least two of the places where people will go and grab. It's always good to go and clean out the seat of areas where you think you're going to go and touch. And this proves to be pretty helpful when you're on travel overall, but especially when you're on long international or very long domestic flights. Let's go and show around the seat. As I mentioned before, this is the in-flight screen. How it pops out is through a button right here. And that's where you can go and latch in or latch out into the stowing. And then also to latch out, you can rotate it back from its original position to a more comfortable position that's more vertical in line with you. Not the best designs, but given that these are all slanted seats, at least when it comes to the seating configuration, I guess that's what they have to do to go and adjust to make things a little bit more readable. Down below, we've got an extra bottle of water here. I will go and demonstrate the amenity kit, which is different compared to other ones that I've seen previously. I will note, this stove-in latch is really hard to open once you close it, so I'm going to keep it open for this flight here until we have to go and land. Then underneath the stuff that I have here is an extra compartment. That's where personal headphones are. You can pop it open, you can kind of see those headphones in there. I'm going to have to clean those before I go and wear them if I'm going to listen to any movies, which most likely I'm not going to do. I prefer reading. Then next, you have the table. You have to push really hard here to go and get it out. Right, so it pops up, and then to go and push it down requires, I would say, about 15 pounds of force. So a little bit of force is needed to go and get that down into the cupboard. The remote control here is to handle the in-flight entertainment, which I'll show here shortly. But on top top of the cover is where you have the control panel for controlling your cushion firmness, which is basically on the back. And then this does lie down flat accordingly. I'll show the lie down configuration when I'm about to hit the snooze button after the dinner service. And aside from that, you've also got the light here. Light is fairly sizable, but we're flying in the middle of the day, so that's not going to be needed. And you've got a blanket as well as a pillow. I would say this blanket is fairly thin, but it'll serve for the needs. It's pretty comfortable with the current temperature on this A350. There's also an extra light that's located above that is activated through the remote control. Have your seating configuration. What we'll go through next is the amenity kit. The business class amenity kit is a different one from what I've seen, at least from previous years, where I think in 2023 when I went to Frankfurt, they had like a bag that was essentially rolled onto a tote. This is very different than that. In fact, laser welded zippers, so this is probably a waterproof container here. So that's a nice different switch here. Got the wood toothbrush, interesting, it's wood. And then next up here, we've got Sutum. I think this is just balm, yep. Got some cream. And then next up, some earplugs, and then this is, I wonder what this is. I'm not sure what this is. I'll find out shortly. Oh, headphone covers, and then a pair of socks, and of course an eye mask. So overall, fairly standard amenity kit, but it's interesting. I like that this is a waterproof bag, welded. So that's a little bit of a different mix here. The drinks are now here. I have chips and looks to be some homemade guac. We'll give it a try in a bit. But here I've got the Lufthansa specific avionic. So according to the menu here, and I'm going to look at this, right? So it looks like it's a different type of a cocktail with some citrus notes. So it's kind of like a different type of a gin and tonic. So let's give her a sip this afternoon. Very sweet. But I'm good with the sweet here. Nice, refreshing afternoon cocktail. I'll certainly take that. And then the next, we'll have the chips in the guac. Let's give this a try. That was less than what I expected. This is a soft chip. I mean, did you see that? Okay. Less than exemplary. I'm not gonna lie. Taste is okay, but you shouldn't have chips that are kind of soggy. I mean, the taste is okay, but if you're gonna have chips, make sure the chips are hard. Okay? At least the drink makes up for it, because this is a really good, like, gin and tonic kind of a cocktail mix. So I'll have this over a little bit more. So that's the appetizers. In front of us we have the appetizers, which this is the duck breast. And then just a simple balsamic vinaigrette, salad, and of course the famous German pretzel bread, which I can never get enough of. So we're gonna try the duck breast first. So, little piece. Let's see how this goes here. That's actually, I would say, a little bit on the lean side, but you saw the fat that was just right against the skin. Just provides a blend of excellence there. So again, excellent way to go and start off. So much better than whatever that chips and that soggy chips and the salsa or guac was not fresh. So this is a lot better than that. Then we've got here, I think, apples. Yep, and then cucumber with dill. And then I think we have some raisins. Or, actually not, it's apricots. Excuse me. All four of these combined together with a little bit of this jelly. That's how I'd go and enjoy this appetizer. Which, yeah, all four of these together form a really good mix. So, very good way to start. Just start with this. None of that chips and salsa crap. Then, of course, pretzel bread. I don't need to have butter, but you can add butter. Just adds it even better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's the German way to go and eat. Pretzel bread in Germany is just fantastic and no different on this flight. I won't judge the salad here because I have a feeling it's going to be pretty standard with vinaigrette dressing. So there you have it, your appetizers. And I forgot to mention they do offer a hot towel service, so you get hot towels prior to any of the meal service that you have. Alright, we have the beef fillet, along with some potatoes and some green beans, and of course, Allegris alcohol-free Weiss beer brew. So, one of my favorite types of alcohol-free beers. The one from Weihenstephan is also really good too. What's nice about the alcohol-free beers is that they're tasty, it's a Hefeweizen style, and no alcohol. Best of all three worlds, great for athletes. So, if you're looking for the way how they do it in Europe, especially in Germany, the alcohol-free beers are the way to go. So now, we'll get to the beef patty in just a little bit. I've just got to cut it up. Give me a minute here. Okay, we've got it cut up now. Looks fairly well done. We'll give it a try. It's definitely on the lean side. Definitely a little bit tough, but the sauce is really good. Definitely cooked on the well done side, but what do you expect in flight? I mean, serving rare/medium is a little bit of a risk, especially in an airline. You definitely don't want to have food poisoning on flight, so I understand what they're doing here, but I would have preferred to be more of a medium. Like I know Emirates and Singapore, when they do beef fillets, they tend to be more of a medium as opposed to a well done. Next up, green beans. Not the best, but definitely serviceable. And of course, potatoes. It's hard to do scalloped potatoes wrong unless they're too moist, but no, they do it right here. Of course, the tomato paste mix. This is alright too. So, and lastly, I think artichoke. I could be wrong. It's fine. I wouldn't say the best meal overall, but meat is definitely tough. You can see how well done that is. But overall, okay for an entree. Not the best type of business class meal that you can get. Frankly, the U.S. airlines might actually be a little bit better than this, but that's just my personal bias. But all is well with an alcohol-free beer. Okay, hopefully you can see me now with the sleep configuration. You can see above the head here. There's really, it's kind of a weird way to go and get into sleeping config. In fact, I have to go and press the lie flat button, and then I actually have to manually lower the seat, manually lower the upper part of the rest, and so from there, that's how I'm able to kind of sit up a little bit. And now, as you can see over from the opposite end, I'm pretty cramped in terms of the feet space, so the cushion itself is maybe not the best, but serviceable. Do feel a little bit of pressure onto my bottom side here. Apologies for letting I'm holding my other cell phone to make sure it gets a little bit of light here. So overall, not the best, I guess, of seeing configs. And again, we'll see what this new Allegris business class is going to be. But I'm going to get a couple hours of shut-eye, which again, for any athlete that goes and travel, try to get as much sleep as I can. Obviously, I'm a little bit privileged flying in business class, but especially for really long international trips, being able to sleep in a flatter position does make a marvelous difference. And especially it's going to be important when I do my next video going to Singapore. So with that, I'm going to rest for as much as I can and then wake up for breakfast, and then we'll be hopefully landing shortly here. I hope that you've enjoyed viewing the Lufthansa LH489 from Seattle over to Munich. Now, actually, I'm filming this as I'm on my way back, but I just want to give a recap of my thoughts to the Lufthansa flight. Overall, kind of uneventful, more or less self-inflicted wounds, but I would say the overall experience is kind of meh, I guess, to say the very least, at least compared to a lot of US airlines. Now, we're looking forward to having a new Allegris business class cabin. That would really be helpful, but I know that there's been lots of supply chain issues for the interiors to go and try to get these seats in time. But overall, seat not very comfortable. I mean, good for lounging, but definitely not a sleeping bed. Then the food, the chips and salsa was definitely dreadful, but the appetizers are great. The main course was kind of meh, and then lastly, the overall sleep experience wasn't great, but at least, you know, it kind of did the job, but I have to climb above someone to go and use the restroom. Breakfast was all right, uneventful, and now when I landed, got bags in a timely manner. So overall, kind of a meh experience. I would certainly say not as enjoyable compared to others. In fact, as I record this, I'm about to go and fly back from Munich to San Francisco, which I have recorded a video on before. So there you have it. And if you like any of these videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below for me. Leave a comment. Have you flown on Lufthansa business class before? And of course, hit the bell notification for any videos that I'm going to post. I know I haven't been doing that much because I've just been so busy. But as we start traveling a little bit more and as I get closer towards my eventual trip to Singapore, I'll take you guys and gals along with me on the journey. And until the next one, Yoshi out.